631%. In 12 hours, the derivatives market just lit up for Shiba Inu in a way that is turning heads across the entire crypto space right now. And when you understand what this number actually means and what it has historically preceded, your perspective on where SHIB is headed next is going to shift completely. What is happening and what on earth am I even talking about? Well, let me explain. This content is provided for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Market conditions can change over time. Something just happened inside the SHIB derivatives market that the broader community has not fully processed yet. A massive imbalance between futures capital entering and futures capital exiting just appeared in the data. And the percentage difference between those two flows is the number that is shaking traders awake this morning. But before we reveal the full picture, let us set the chart context, because the setup that existed before this derivatives signal arrived makes the signal itself even more significant. SHIB has been compressing. After a 6-day consecutive drop that pushed the price down to approximately 526 units on March 3rd, the asset has been sitting in a tightly wound range. Compressed price action after a sustained directional move is one of the most recognizable pre-breakout patterns in technical analysis. Think of it like a spring being pushed down. The longer it stays compressed, the more energy builds inside it. And SHIB has been building that energy for days now. Traders watching this formation on the chart were already on high alert before today. Then the derivatives market just confirmed what the chart was quietly whispering. According to market data, SHIB is currently trading near 557 units with open interest sitting at approximately $53.8 million against a spot volume of just $28.6 million in the last 24 hours. The ratio between futures activity and spot activity alone tells you that professional traders are far more engaged with this asset right now than the casual retail picture suggests. Now, here's where it gets interesting. That compressed price action was the setup. What just happened in the derivatives flows is the trigger. According to reports, on March 5th, 2026, Shiba Inu recorded $5.41 million in futures inflows over the most recent 12-hour window. Outflows during that same period came in at $4.65 million. The net difference between those two numbers produced a positive net flow surge of 631%. And get this. This is not a 631% move in price. This is a 631% expansion in the balance of capital flowing into SHIB futures contracts compared to the capital flowing out. That is pure derivatives positioning. That is experienced traders placing real, committed capital on the line ahead of what they believe the next directional move will be. Professional market participants do not build positions like this without conviction behind it. They do not allocate millions in net futures capital into a tight range without expecting something significant to follow. Here is the thing. The open interest figure adds a critical layer to this story. Open interest measures the total value of all futures contracts currently open and unsettled. When it rises sharply alongside a net flow surge, it means new capital is actively entering the market and opening fresh positions. But analysts note that SHIB's open interest only rose by 0.3% in the same 24-hour period despite the 631% net flow surge. That combination, a massive spike in net inflows paired with near flat open interest growth, is actually a very specific technical signature that derivatives traders recognize immediately. It suggests that the capital entering the derivatives market is primarily rotating between existing positions rather than creating large volumes of brand new ones. Traders are not opening new bets at random. They are shifting existing capital, adjusting directional exposure, leaning toward a specific outcome ahead of what they believe is coming. And the positive bias in that net inflow with $5.41 million entering against $4.65 million leaving means that lean is toward the upside. But here's the kicker. The same data confirms that SHIB just reversed a 6-day losing streak that had pulled the price all the way down to 526 units on March 3rd. That level matters. According to on-chain trackers and market analytics, Shiba Inu recently touched a multi-year low last month at approximately 500 units, a price point not visited since September 2021. That timing detail carries enormous historical weight for this community, because what happened directly after SHIB last visited that price zone in September 2021 was an 830% climb across the weeks that followed. It became one of the defining moments of the asset's entire price history. a period that turned patient holders into people who had life-changing results. Now, the market has returned to that same price neighborhood. Not the exact same circumstances, not the same macro environment, but the same price territory. And the derivatives market just responded with a 631% net flow surge the moment the recovery attempt began. And the broader data surrounding this derivatives event is not quiet either. According to blockchain analytics citing CryptoQuant, approximately 38% of all coins across the entire market are currently trading near all-time lows. That statistic matters enormously because it tells you where we are in the broader cycle. When the overwhelming majority of altcoins have already been beaten down to historic lows simultaneously, the subsequent reversal tends to lift the entire category together in a concentrated window of time. Slow individual recoveries become a sector-wide rotation, and Shib, trading at multi-year lows with derivatives flows now exploding on the upside, is positioned directly at the entry point of that potential rotation window. Sources suggest the smart money building positions in the derivatives market right now understands this dynamic clearly. The 631% net flow surge did not arrive in a vacuum. It arrived at the exact intersection of compressed price, historic low territory, and a broader market setup where altcoin rotation could trigger at any moment. Now, here is what is wild. Despite the 631% net flow surge and the price recovering 2.27%. On the day to reach approximately 564 units, the market is not running away yet. The broader crypto space remains cautious and measured. Sellers are still stepping in on minor rallies, trimming positions, and keeping the recovery from becoming a clean directional breakout. Market observers note that the backdrop has kept Shib in a uniquely positioned state. The price has reversed its 6-day drop. The derivatives flows have surged, but open interest remains controlled and flat. This combination creates one of the most dangerous conditions for anyone positioned short on this asset, because the moment the broader market gives the green light and risk appetite genuinely returns, the positioning squeeze that could follow would be rapid, sharp, and potentially enormous in scale. The coiled spring is loaded. The repositioning capital is in place. And every passing hour without a breakdown strengthens the case for the bulls. The Shib community has seen this pattern before. Not in every detail, but in the essential shape. A prolonged period of pressure, a compression, a derivatives positioning surge that arrives before the broader market wakes up. And then a move that rewards the people who are paying attention when the signal appeared. The 830% rise from September 2021 is the reference point that the market itself has placed in front of us by returning to that same price territory. The data is not asking you to ignore the risk. It is asking you to understand the setup. The flows just exploded 631%. The positioning is shifting. Derivatives capital, smart money rotation, multi-year low territory. All three of those signals are converging at the exact same moment. And the clock on the next major directional move for Shib is ticking faster than most people realize right now. What is your take on what happens next? Drop your price prediction in the comments and let the community see it. Click on one of the videos on screen to keep up with every Shib development as it happens. Turn on the notifications bell right now, because one missed update on a setup like this one could genuinely cost you. And share this video with every member of your Shib circle today. The signal is live. The community needs to see it. Share it now.